Danny from McCoy's Brewery, isn't
McColls.
McCall's, there we go. I'm going to play the mildly dyslexic card on that one as well. But do you know what? I should know better, mate, because well, not single-handed. I know you've got teams and the pubs and whatever else, but you decided to put our logo on two cans in a box in a batch of six
Yeah,
with the Grieving Pint and the Men's Pie Club.
yeah,
And mate, like the feedback and all of this kind of stuff was absolutely amazing. But the one thing what I really like about you guys is I think you sent an email. It was like, "Can we use your logo?"
yeah.
And you didn't want anything back.
No.
You didn't ask us to share it and all this kind of stuff. And that stuff really frustrates me. So I absolutely applaud you. But then that also gets me thinking, I'm like, there's normally a reason. Yeah, it is a bit about branding and giving back and all this stuff, but there's normally a bit of a personal reason why somebody or a business really wants to help the way they
Yeah,
did. So I thought, "Do you know what? Sod it. One, I'm going to say thank you for helping us out because I know that there is financial reward in the form of fundraising, which helps
yeah,
us do our stuff. So thank you so much. I wanted to get to the nitty-gritty of why.
yeah. I think probably like the majority of blokes out there, they'll have had some level of mental health issues, and it doesn't even like disappear. I think it's ongoing for a lot of people,
Yeah,
myself included. That probably 4 years ago, pre-pandemic, so not really associated with COVID. Um, I just hit a brick wall, pretty much completely broke down. Uh, Fortunately, my wife is very compassionate and like caring, and managed to like discuss it with her. Then
yeah,
went to the doctors, managed to, again, just try and get it off your chest or out your head
yeah,
and talk to somebody. And that was a massive turning point for me, to just be able to feel like I wasn't alone and be able to step beyond the brink of keeping it internally. So I've kind of experienced it firsthand that it's so difficult to pretty much admit to
yeah,
having some mental health issues. So not just myself though, I know people on my team, uh, people within my wider family, and just people within our kind of local community have all had, or do have, ongoing issues.
yeah,
I'm fortunate that I've got a platform of the brewery, the business, the social media following that we have, and the community that kind of help and follow and support us, like in
yeah,
what we do. It's a real good platform to just man up and
yeah. No,
and,
absolutely. Yeah.
and talk about it and get over it, and like use that platform to hopefully help anyone. So yeah, just coming from a personal perspective, I know it's got wider implications for people that I know, but that we couldn't pass on the opportunity of the platform that we have to 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 go out there and talk about it.
Mate, I genuinely absolutely fucking applaud you, mate.
Thank you, man.
I think hand on heart, I think the way you've done everything is absolutely perfect. And yeah, it's not just us, there are two other charities involved as well. But I admire that. I didn't know that bit as well. This is why I don't script the videos. But
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like everything you
It
did.
just comes out. It's
Yeah,
more
no,
kind of
exactly. I do.
genuine. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been called the Jeremy Paxman of the mental health world
I
before.
like it.
I still don't know if
Just
that's a
yeah,
good
it's
thing
a
or bad.
compliment, man. Just get that information out
No,
of her.
no, exactly, man. So yeah, yeah, again, man, I just absolutely applaud you. But I'd say it's people like us, people. I've seen messages,
Yeah.
not messages, and even comments on some of the videos, and these are followers that you've brought in
Oh,
on like
brilliant,
the pubs and all
brilliant.
this kind of stuff, and it's really interesting. And funny enough, one of them, I think it was on YouTube. There's a video with a guy called Sober Dave. Um,
Right.
and he was an alcoholic and all sorts, and so that's his main thing. And we did the video because we're not an anti-drink territory, far from it.
No.
But we did a video just saying if you ask a question, if you have to ask a question, am I drinking too much? You probably already know the answer.
Yeah.
Some of the followers, what I know because I can trace it all, have come through that, and they're just like, oh yeah, maybe I need to calm it
Yeah.
down. And this, am I making sense?
Yeah. 100%. It's a similar kind of story from the work we previously been doing with Men's Pie Club,
Yeah.
we'd never worried about the kind of mental health connotations in link with us as an alcohol brand.
Yeah.
We actually saw it as a really good avenue to reach people that might have, like, the mental health issues might come from alcohol problems, and that as long as it's an open, genuine, and honest conversation, it can be done in any realm. And you've just proven there.
Yeah.
So an alcoholic on YouTube was willing to kind of open up and discuss and kind of say, you know what, maybe I am drinking too much. And
No,
if that
exactly.
kind of gets through to one individual like that, it's worth every penny, man. It's worth every ounce of effort.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, again, I applaud you. It's these kind of campaigns where it's. I think the thing I like is that you just come out of the blue. I think you sent an email or something. I can't even remember now. I remember
Yeah.
it was like a few months ago, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been maybe before or just after Christmas.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and you're just like, can we do it? Can we do this? And I was like, there we go. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting anything from it, and then it just completely blew up.
Yeah.
So well done to you. But yeah, again, Matt, like I was saying, I was off air. I hate saying that. It makes it feel like we've got a green, I've got a green room and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I even sat there like looking at the cans with my boy, like, and he had one of the cans. We're just talking about stuff. It was like just you end up just talking
Yeah. Totally.
over a beer. Yeah,
I think that's like, so what we always try and drag it back to is, yes, we're a brewery, and yes, you've got, like, mental health is a great, well, not a great problem, but a problem that has to be tackled. If our tap room or our social medias or just us as individuals can open up that conversation,
exactly.
and it'd be like a spark to helping an individual.
Yeah,
I've got no grievances with it being, us being a brewery. I
yeah,
find it as a really good platform. So many people use pubs or even just having a quiet beer with friends as
exactly.
an
Yeah,
opportunity to start a conversation.
yeah.
So, wait, the other charity, the Grieving-Pint, theirs is focused around the pub to bring people together to, like, start discussing any
Yeah,
issues that
and
they've
and
got. And I
and,
think that it has to come from the ground up. And if it's a comfortable place for people to talk about it, kind of more the better, really.
absolutely, man. This is something what we preach all the time. It's just sometimes I think we've changed our terminologies. Let's face it, the NHS isn't the best with mental health.
No.
Resort. Do I blame the government? Yeah, that's as far as I can say because we can't do politics. Do I
Yeah.
blame the government? Yeah, for lack of resources. But I think we've changed our attitude actually and say, actually, do you know what? Yeah, yeah. If you've got massive issues, then please do go to the doctors. But actually, we're starting to say things of just like, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Of just actually, maybe we need to accept that actually some resources are really, really bad at the moment. So do you know what?
Yeah.
If meeting your mate down the pub works, as long as you don't have
Yeah.
a drinking problem, there's my get out clause. If
Yeah.
meeting your mate down a pub or even having a beer in the park where the law allows it, um, it's not wrong.
No, I
What
think it's almost like, even if the resources are there, the formality sometimes and the kind of stereotype of it maybe being a therapy based kind of resolution. I
yeah,
think blokes sometimes are a bit standoffish to that.
yeah.
I think whether it's a club, whether it's beer related or not, I think if it's a more soft approach, I think that's where men start to broach the threshold of going,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know what? It's only making a pie, or it's only having a pint with me mate, or if it's a dance club that ends up talking about men's mental health issues. I know there's a few of them around. I think that's the softer, easier way of getting men to talk about stuff. So could be a pint down the pub with your best mate. It could just be a general chat with a stranger in a really easy environment. I think that's the good thing. So almost not, it's almost not the, it is the resources that are limited within, say, the NHS. But I think the formality of it is
Yeah.
quite a hard thing for men to get over.
No, absolutely, mate. And I don't. I've sort of had more and more conversations with actually a lot of blokes, especially if they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Mostly straight relationships.
Yeah.
Normally the woman knows something's wrong, so she's like, you need to go to the doctor. But
Yeah.
the trouble is, I get it, but the trouble is with saying that the bloke doesn't actually want to go.
Nah.
And
Nah.
it is about finding your tribe, and if that's with watching MANUP videos or making beer or
Yeah.
I know, as I've said this many times, there's a sniper. He's got a knitting group with a load of old
That
ladies.
is brilliant. That is mint.
Exactly. I don't why I
Yeah.
didn't think of that. Whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, if as long as we're dealing with our mental health in a healthy way,
Yeah.
it's not it's
Here's a one for a great northern stereotype, but there's a guy I know has got mental health issues, and he goes to a walk your ferret club,
you're
and
joking.
it's just take your ferret out like on a leash, and he says it's just so cathartic. He
Yeah,
says it's like you're talking to random straight, you get to know the people
yeah.
because it's a bit of a club, but it's like a total break from the norm of like whatever he's going through, and it's just he's in the woods. There's a load of people walking their ferrets, and it's like that. It could be a knitting club, could be down the pub, could be walking your ferret,
No,
and
exactly.
that is just. I think they're brilliant ways of it's getting out of your own head, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
kind of like
absolutely.
opening up a bit.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think it's one of those things. What we've said time and time again. Men need to be allowed to be men
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as well,
yeah.
and
100%.
exactly the same as women. Like women as well. Well, it's like that joke, isn't it? It's like if you go out with two women, not go out, but you know what I mean. If you're with a couple of women, like women will always go to the toilet at the same time because they
Yeah,
normally have that bit of a natter and whatever else.
yeah.
But it does feel a bit weird. I don't want to turn it us and them because we're certainly not at all. It's
No, no, no.
I think it's more what we're trying to say before piss people off. I think it's more. It seems to be more acceptable for women to allowed to do what they want to do, but blokes
Yeah,
kind of
I
don't.
spoke about this recently with the founder of Men's Pie Club, and I don't want. I've done no research into this, but we kind of come to a conclusion that so men would have had men working men's clubs, social clubs,
Yeah,
the actual male orientated kind of labor force of like say the 80s or 70s, and then the sports clubs that were associated with them.
well, okay, yeah.
Then in the 70s and 80s, when that started to be broken down, again, not wanting to touch on the politics, but they
Well,
started to be
you can, we can't.
all right. Well,
Yeah,
the Thatcher government would have broken down those like social clubs and way of men being kind of together.
yeah,
Then in the 90s and early 90s, all the blokes were like looking around thinking, where's my camaraderie? Where's my regular
great
check
point.
in?
Yeah,
Where's my kind of just pint in the working men's club or my game of football at the weekend? And I know those things do still go on, but it was a cornerstone of men's lives 30, 40, 50 years ago. And those pillars don't kind of exist in their entirety anymore.
yeah,
So if we had an opportunity to be part of something and maybe chat to people, the opportunities are so much more limited now for
yeah.
blokes. And I think that's what's driven the need of you guys and other mental health kind of charities to be brave and stand up and say you can't talk about it because those opportunities aren't existing anymore. So it kind of comes back to you guys, man. You guys are the ones that are driving the conversation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're doing that, and we're trying to just make people think about how they treat themselves or how they treat other people as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all happy days. So before, can I just ask one question actually?
yeah, yeah,
So you got the crazies just before COVID or a couple of years before COVID.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So you would have built yourself. You can probably see where this is going. So you would have built yourself back up,
yeah.
and then COVID happened, which I would have thought that would have forced your business to close for a while.
So we were probably one of the fortunate groups that, because we're a food and drink business, we were allowed to still operate as like a key service.
Oh, okay, of course, yeah,
And although it was quite a horrible time,
yeah,
the actual maintaining of work and environment kept me on the straight and narrow.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah.
very difficult and very stressful, as in the day-to-day stress, but the kind of mental stress, it didn't hit home very
Yeah.
hard. I just kept myself active, which
Yeah.
I was blessed. I was very fortunate with.
I think that was the same with me, like because during COVID I was leading like a soup kitchen as well as the business and obviously the
Yeah,
charity stuff. So I was one of those lucky people. I could still nearly get out and about. It was a pain in the arse and it was
yeah,
horrible, but I could still get out and about. And I think
yeah,
that's obviously I don't want to COVID date this really. So, um, but I'm glad, man. I think that
yeah, man. Because one thing, so pre-COVID, when I realised I had issues, um, I kind of started to get really good coping methods.
yeah,
So, like my wife kind of had similar issues, and she kind of obviously she'd broached the subject years before I ever did, and she'd kind of given us like some preemptive tactics to use.
yeah,
But then talking to people like yourself and other charities, kind of like you're able to recognize the signs and like kind of
yeah.
divert yourself away from the habits that maybe dragged you down in the past.
I trigger
So
you.
when
Yeah.
COVID came along, I'd kind of already started to build up a resilience and coping methods. So I think that helped us through COVID as well.
Right, okay. Happy
Yeah.
days, mate. So that's brilliant answers. Thank you. So just before we draw to a close, there's that little cue of just if someone's watching this and they might be, I don't want to say triggered really, but do you get what I mean? They might just be feeling a little bit down on the dumps or whatever else. What would you tell them to do?
Do you know what? And this is not easy for everyone. I'm lucky that I live somewhere where I'm able to action this. Is and it sounds really fluffy, but get out into nature.
Yeah,
Like for me, it is getting away from the screen, getting away from the work environment. And I'm a workaholic. So doing that, it's not as easy as it sounds
yeah.
because you think, well, I've still got a million and one jobs to do. And if I
You've
step
got
away
yeah,
from it,
yeah.
they're
You've
going to
got
build up, they're going to
yeah.
get worse. But literally allowing myself half an hour to just go for a walk gives you that headspace and moves you away from that white noise of just the constant buzz of emails, notifications, intensity,
Switch
and
off.
it
Yeah,
switch off. And it can just be for half an hour. And I hold my hand up. I have to force myself. I have to drag myself away from it and just go, it's going to be a lot better in half an hour.
yeah.
So that's probably my hardest but most practical tip.
I'll totally agree with you. I'll totally and utterly agree with you, mate. Absolutely. But on that bombshell.
Yeah.
That was a good call, but just before I do close it, yeah, again, mate, I do generally want to thank you for everything that you've done. Yeah, money and whatever else helps, but it's like you've helped us raise awareness in places where we probably wouldn't be able to reach previously. So I have seen, it's not loads of comments. I don't care about
Yeah.
loads of comments. It's not about that. But I have seen comments on some of the videos and whatever else where they're just like, yeah, I'll do something. So
Well,
well
that
done,
is
well done to
that's
you.
much appreciated. I take it, but it's you guys and the other charities that are the kind of reason we do that kind of thing. We
Yeah.
we want to give you a platform. So I love the fact that it's been positive, but it's because yous existed in the first place. I think that that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
onus is on you. You guys are the best
yeah,
one.
well, to be honest, man, my goal of running this charity as a CEO and whatever else, all of that
Yeah.
business, all of that fancy whatever, don't really care about all that. My job is to actually get this charity shut down because there's no need.
Brilliant. Yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah.
that
To
is
not
that is
exist.
the that is my goal is to actually get it shut down. And do you know what? That'll be a very, very happy day for two reasons. Is one, I'll have a lot more bloody time on my hands,
Yeah.
and two, everyone's just helping themselves and helping each other.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Like for both reasons, give yourself more time and that the stigma has disappeared. That would be brilliant in within the next decade. That would be amazing, man.
absolutely, let me hit that record button 1 second, mate.